Hey folks, this is John Oakes here with Hankster's Hot Rods here today in our Homer City location. And yes, we've got us another addition to our inventory to go over with you folks out there. So here we go. It is a 1966 Ford Mustang here. This is done in the, just to kind of give you the brief overview of the car, done in the metallic gray exterior here. It does have the red GT stripe on it that we'll see here in a little bit, a lot better than what you probably do right now, and that's going to help blend together the interior that's in it. Again, a very nice color combination on this vehicle. As far as the drivetrain goes on this car, we've got a 302 cubic inch small block Ford, backed up by a Tremec 5-speed manual transmission. And then of course for the rear end, we've got an 8-inch Ford. It does have a 410 gear in it with the POSI unit. Running gear on the car as far as power, or as far as steering, brakes and such. This car is manual brakes. It has an upgraded rack in it though as far as the steering goes. And then with the brakes, it does have slotted rotors up front, 4-piston calipers, and then it's got drum brakes on the rear, complete with the emergency brake all hooked up and functional. Upgraded wheels, tires, you know, kind of the normal thing with some of these classics here. So we'll just kind of start now going through the car. I'll try to point out to you everything that we're going over here. And then of course at the end, if you've got any more questions, always reach out to us there. We'll be glad to answer those. So like I said, we've got that gray exterior, that gray metallic exterior paint here. Wheels and tires on the car, of course, these are aftermarket. These are the American Torq thrust wheels, American Racing Torq thrust. 16-inch wheels on all 4 corners. Again, these have those, the gray painted centers with the polished lips on them. A very nice look for this particular car. I think they go really well with the look of it. And then the tires here. These are a Hercules name brand, Touring 4.0 is the model of the tire. And again, this is the same thing on all 4 corners. Same size also, 205/60 R16s. So again, when it comes time for rotating tires, very easy. Swap them front to back. No concerns there whatsoever. We do, as far as badging on this car, we've got the 5.0 badges on the front fender. Again, that does signify what is in the car with the 302 motor there. And then of course we've got the Mustang badging here on the back side of the of the front fender. As far as other bright work goes, we've got the rocker moldings here, bright work here, all nicely polished up, nice and straight and attached, good and secure to that car. No issues there. As I mentioned earlier, we've got those red GT stripes here down at the bottom. This is vinyl, they're not painted on, but again, they did this to kind of bring the interior into this whole thing with the color combination. And again, I think it just looks really good. Mirrors, we've got both mirrors here, driver and passenger side mirrors. The round mirror, the chrome is in great shape. The glass in the mirrors, that's in great shape too. The Mustang that we have here, obviously, we've got the black vinyl top. Couple of things I always like to check out on these. I'll always kind of run my finger through that rain gutter, make sure it's good and smooth, which it is on this car, at least on this side. And then I always like to check out right along the bottom here where your trim meets that vinyl top. That's a problem area for any old car. You'll sometimes get, you know, the bumps and stuff in there. Not on this car though. This car is super smooth around all the edges, so again, no issues there. As far as our glass goes here on our driver's side, at least, your wing window here, your actual door glass, and then your quarter window, all in good shape here. There's no chips or cracks on any of the glass. Now all of this glass, I'm gonna maybe assume that it's probably the original glass in it, so you are gonna see a few little scratches here and there in the glass, but again, all good and solid, obviously. No chips or cracks there. As far as the rest of the bright work, you've got those rain gutter moldings or the drip rail moldings here. Over here on the driver's side, side, not too bad. Fairly straight there. Again, they look, you know, pretty good for the age of the vehicle here. That vinyl top itself, not only is it nice and smooth around all the edges, but if you look at the whole entire top itself, that material is all in really good shape. All of your seams, everything, you don't see any rips or tears or any places where you would think it's, you know, worn at all. It is a very nice top. Chrome door handles here too are in great shape. There's no pitting or scratching on any of that. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our interior. That way you'll get to see what that red stripe does for this car by tying it all together. As I open the door up, you'll notice it's got the red interior as far as the seat upholstery and door panels go. It's the pony interior, so you've got the front bucket seats there in red along with the rear bench seat. And then again, as you see there, it does have the red door panels. Now as far as the doors themselves go, you can see that those are painted body color underneath anyways, with those red panels installed. Again, everything looks great though. No rips or tears in any of the upholstery. Door panels look great here too. Armrest pads all in good condition too. You don't see any really signs of any wear as far as when you rest your elbows on them for any given time. Far as the dash goes, now that's a stock or factory dash for the car, but it does have aftermarket gauges. Those are all AutoMeter gauges. Very nice looking gauge set really for the car, and it does have the AutoMeter red line shift indicator there on your column there, so you know whenever it's time to shift. It does have a FYPLAY AM FM digital radio, USB capable, all of the things there, like the WMA files, the MP3s. It'll read all of that stuff for you, so you know, a good addition to the car. Black carpeting, obviously you see there that really nice floor shifter there for the Tremec 5-speed that has the black billet handle and black billet shift knob on there. Just a really nice looking unit there for the shifter. And then of course you've got that wood grain steering wheel there that brings everything together, just makes it look so nice and so classy for one of these old Mustangs. And you see it's got all the seat belts installed too. The other thing we always check out here is our seals and our weather stripping. So all the way up around the top side here of your door frame, those are all in good shape, nice and soft, no rips or tears anywhere, and all securely anchored. Same thing with your quarter window seals, all nice and soft, securely anchored. Same thing with your door jamb U seals, all of your weather stripping around the door here, all in great condition on the car. So we'll close this up and we'll continue walking around the car. I've already been over the wheels and tires. We don't need to go over that again. Quarter panel nice and straight on the car too. As we get to the back, I will look up across the side of the car, and again, everything looks nice and straight, all in line. Elevations on the door with the front fender and the quarter panel all look really good here. Far as our rear glass goes, again, slightly tinted. All of your bright work, those moldings all the way around look really good here on the back window. No chips or cracks again on the rear window. We come down a little further. Of course, we've got our trunk lid here. We check out the gaps all the way around and the fitment, the elevation and so forth. Everything looks to be adjusted very well as far as that trunk lid goes. Before we go inside the trunk, we'll check out the very tail section of the car here. Now we've got LED taillights back here, and those bezels, the bright work on those looks really nice on this car here. The actual lenses, there's no chips or cracks in any of those. We come into the center here, you'll see it's got the Bullitt style gas cap back here. Then of course you have a very nice chrome rear bumper with no pitting, no scratching at all on that bumper. Down below you've got the little bumperettes. Your rear lower valance is in really good shape there with the backup lights installed. And again, down below we'll see the ending to our exhaust system, which is a set of 2.5-inch tailpipe extensions there. What we'll do now is open up our trunk, take a look inside. And there we go. So the key does in fact work the lock. The latch all works. The underside of the trunk lid here, you'll see painted up very nicely here. All the weather stripping around the trunk is in great shape, nice and soft. Again, no rips or tears anywhere. That's going to seal up very nice. Your rain gutters here or your water channels here are all good and solid on both sides all the way around too. Again, that's going to direct that water right out the back of the car. You never have to worry about it getting inside the trunk. Mentioning the inside here, we've got a set of floor mats, and again here in the red to go along with the rest of the interior. You've got a nice trunk mat here in black to kind of cover everything up. Now again, there's no issues here covering up. As we all know with the Mustangs, the actual fuel tank mounts from the top side here down into the car. So again, your fuel tank is actually a large portion of your trunk floor, but again, just to kind of help dress things up, they've gone ahead and got this nice little trunk mat here that looks really good. Now again, this does have a relocated battery in it. So this is a Moroso battery relocation box, and it actually has a shutoff right back here. So if you're going to be storing the car for any amount of time, you can go ahead and just turn the knob on it. It disconnects all power from the car so that you do not have any kind of parasitic draws whatsoever. You can come right back, flip that switch, and then you'll have instant power. Now that's it for the trunk. Closes nice and easy. So now we'll walk around to the passenger side. So again, as I stand back here and look up the side of the car, again, everything looks very good as far as being in line, all of your elevations and so forth. So again, nice straight panels, the door in conjunction with the quarter panels and the front fender all in line, so all of your panel fitment is really, really nice on this car. Now we'll do the same thing on this side I did on the other side. We'll kind of check out around the bottom of the vinyl top here, nice and smooth around the bottom here. All of our trim work here is all in nice shape too. The rain gutter itself, we feel up through there, and that's nice and smooth there too. And again, you've got the bright work as far as your drip rail moldings. Again, showing a little bit of age here on the drip rail moldings, but again, all in all, not too bad whatsoever there. As far as our glass now on the passenger side, now we got the same thing over here. No chips or cracks anywhere here. Of course, you got your bright work that goes all around the windows here. That all looks good over on this side. Chrome door handle looks good too. As I mentioned, those mirrors on both sides. So again, the chrome finish is in great shape. Mirrors in great shape there too. And again, your gaps, pretty tight gaps all the way around on the car here. The elevations are dead on. All your body lines all match up. Again, you've got that matching red GT stripe down at the bottom, along with the rocker moldings there too, which are in great shape. Let's open up our door on this side, and that way you'll get to see the interior from both sides. Again, we've already been over this, but again, your seats now, as you can see now from the passenger side, no rips or tears there. The seats all look in good shape. Your carpeting, no rips, tears, or fading. That's in very nice shape. You just get to kind of see the dash now from this side and check everything out here. Again, your door panels are in great shape. The armrest pads still in good shape too here as well. Again, we check out our weather stripping, our seals all the way around. Again, all intact here, no rips or tears, nice and soft. Same thing with that quarter window seal, same thing with the door jamb U seal. And then we come out here and check out our weather stripping, which is in great condition here too. So that's pretty much the passenger side there. Again, that door shuts easy too. We come up front now here. We've got our fender mounted antenna. We've got the matching Mustang emblem there with the matching 5.0 emblem also. Now we come around to the front end. So the first thing that you probably noticed with this, they've upgraded the headlights slightly. So they went with an LED halo style headlight here. These are in really nice condition here. The lenses, There's no chips or cracks or scratches in those. Just a really nice looking unit there. Of course, you've got the trim work up along the leading edge of the hood here with your Ford badging here up on the hood. Down below, you've got a nicely chromed front bumper. The grill on this is all intact here too, and then down below you've got your typical lower valance there with your parking lights there as well. So again, all of that looks good on the car. The hood itself, this is going to be your factory hood. Pretty much a stock hood here. You can see your gaps all the way around. The hood fits really well. You'll notice back here on the cowl that it does have one of these clear covers on it. Now these can be got for all the Mustangs, and a lot of people use these. Back in the day, this was a problem area for these cars. You would get water and or debris down in there, and it would sit there because it was hard to get out, and these things wouldn't drain, and a lot of times they would, you know, rot out and cause you problems there. This car, I can tell you right now, in looking down through here, it is very plain to see that these are good and solid inside here. Those boxes underneath there, they are solid. There are no holes whatsoever in those. This is just to protect so that it doesn't get to that point. Again, you can take this off or you can run with it, but again, a lot of guys will use this if the car is going to be sitting somewhere for a while and you're concerned about getting water in here. Also for washing the car too. You put that on, it protects it from getting any water down in there. As far as the windshield goes, again, no chips or cracks here on the windshield, but again, it is showing a little bit of scratches and so forth on it. All of your bright work, your molding around the windshield, pretty good condition there too, all anchored good and secure in the car. Bright windshield wiper arms here, and again, the actual blades are in good condition too. So we'll come up here now. We're going to go underneath the hood because there's a few goodies here that we should probably go over with you just to make sure that you're aware of it. So obviously this is not the original motor for this car. It has been transplanted. It is a 302 cubic inch small block Ford. Now this is electronic fuel injection. As you can see here, you've got the cold air intake. This is, I believe, a 3.5 inch cold air intake with the cone filter. This is a reusable style filter too. I'm not sure if it's a K&N style or not, but yes, you can wash these out, re-oil them, and then you're good to go. We'll try to kind of, you know, touch on just about everything that we've got underneath here. Obviously, we've got the Edelbrock intake there on top there, kind of painted the same color as the car too to kind of color match things, just like those valve covers there. Those are trick flow valve covers, and like I said, they've got those paint matched to the car as well. We've got billet fuel rails on this car. Looks good here too. Again, kind of going with the same theme, the paint theme there with the gray metallic and the red. We've got an MSD Pro Billet distributor here for the ignition with the MSD street fire wires. Those are 8.5 millimeter plug wires, and again, you've got the MSD coil here as well. Complete MSD system. Again, very good quality components here on this car. As far as the front pulleys and so forth, we've got the Billet aluminum water pump pulley and the crank pulley down there, and I believe the alternator pulley is as well. Billet brackets and so forth on the front system here. Again, the belt has been checked out. Everything's all good there too. As far as the exhaust on this car, it does have a set of, I think they were I think it was 1.5 inches, I think. Block hugger or shorty style headers, going into a complete 2.25 inch exhaust. a set of turbo style mufflers, and then of course the tailpipes with the 2.5-inch extensions on the car. All of your fuel lines and so forth and multiple other lines have been all done in this black stainless braided line treatment with AN fittings. So again, those seal up very, very nice, and the steel braided helps protect things. You've got the fuel regulator here. This is an adjustable fuel regulator. So for some reason you'd be, again, just different climates, different elevations may require you to tune the car a little bit differently. So right here's an easy way to adjust that fuel pressure. And of course, you've got the ignition to go along with that, the ignition timing. That's just real easy to adjust there too with the distributor. Trying to think anything else here that we've got. So we've got an OE style radiator here. It does have a, I believe it's a 16-inch electric puller fan here. So it's going to be good and efficient as far as cooling goes. As you can see with most of the plug wires here, they do in fact have the insulator boots there to protect them from the heat from those headers. It is a, as I mentioned earlier, a manual steering car, but it has an upgraded billet rack in it. And again, it's nice and smooth too as far as the steering goes. And as far as the brakes go, manual brakes, I did mention it's a slotted rotor up front with a 4-piston caliper, drums on the back, and then of course they've utilized here a Wilwood master cylinder along with a proportioning valve if you take a look at that back next to the firewall. I think that is a majority of what we've got here. It's got the aluminum overflow tank for the radiator. Of course, the underside of the hood here, all good and solid. You see the X bracing and everything like that under the hood here. So again, good solid stuff there. Your hinges and springs all functioning as they should. You've even got your tag underneath here too. Your VIN number there up on the apron as well. So that's pretty much it for under the hood here. Now, as I mentioned earlier, behind that motor, you've got that Tremec 5-speed manual transmission. Again, a super nice transmission to work with. Falls into gear, shifts very easy. Just a real nice piece there. And then, of course, the 8-inch Ford rear end POSI unit, 410 gear to complete your drive line. That's about everything here on the car. Again, at this point, I always kind of point out to you that depending on where you're watching this video from, if you're not on our website, I would always recommend you go there. It's just hanksters.com. You'll be able to check this car out there. You'll see upwards of 100 photos of this car, as well as the description and all the options and all the things that this car has. In case I may have missed something, it's going to be right there on our website. You'll see the retail pricing, and that includes enclosed shipping to anywhere within the 48 contiguous states, as well as our Hanksters 3-month, 3,000-mile powertrain warranty. If you're interested in seeing how exactly that works, just reach out to us here, and we'll be glad to go over that process. A very easy process to go through. And then, of course, accessories, any add-ons that you would maybe like to have on this car. Now, I know one thing that there's probably room for in here, and that would be air conditioning, something that a lot of people would like to have in their cruiser car. Again, we do a multitude of different things here at Hanksters, so whatever it is that you may be wanting to have added or changed on the car, just reach out to us. We'll be glad to get you pricing on parts and labor for that. So with that said, we'll go ahead and take a moment to close everything up here. We will now take this, get it on our lift, and then I'll go through the complete underside on this car with you here in just one moment. Hey folks, here we are. We've got our 66 Ford Mustang here up on our lift, and as always, we're going to go through the complete underside here. Again, as I mentioned all the time here, a lot of this stuff, it may be, you know, kind of some repeat stuff from our walk-arounds, because I do go over that kind of thing in that walk-around video. But this is more so a condition standpoint from the underside. Plus, there are a lot of, you know, a lot of gadgets on this car that that are really worth mentioning because again, they're good components all the way throughout on this car. So starting at the front of the vehicle here, obviously 66 Mustang, we've got our radiator here on the front. Again, I'm looking at the bottom of the radiator to make sure there's no leaks or drips along the bottom and at like your lower radiator hose and petcock and so forth like that. And again, nice and dry underneath here. Your clamps at your hose here, good and secure. The hose is in good shape, no leaks or drips anywhere. And I also take a look at things like the fan and if it's got a shroud around it. Again, we do in fact have that electric fan back here behind the radiator, and that is all intact. There's nothing broke. It's mounted good and secure to the radiator, so that's not going to cause any issues at all. As we work our way back, now we start to get into some of the goodies on this particular car from the underside point of view here, and that's going to be the suspension we'll start with. So of course on this car we've got a lot of the Global West type components here. You've got the tubular adjustable strut rods on here, so those are good and solid units here. They've got Hymens on the one end, then of course they come back here and bolt to your lower control arm, all of which is in really good shape here on those strut rods. As far as those lower control arms, like I mentioned, these are also Global West tubular lower control arms. Again, a very nice unit underneath here. And again, those all look to be in good shape. All your mounting hardware, all the bushings, all of your sway bar end links, all of that is in great shape. And again, that is a 1-inch front sway bar there too on the car. That's going to make sure that that front end stays nice and tight on you whenever you're cornering. As far as the upper control arms, I believe the uppers, well again, this is a strut car, so it's not going to really have the upper control arms on it per se. Your strut goes up and bolts to your strut tower up top. It's an adjustable strut with a Eibach spring on there, so again, those are good springs too. Eibach's probably some of the best out there, but again, that's a preference thing. As far as brakes and steering on the front of this car here, well, we do have manual brakes, manual steering on this car, but we'll talk about the steering next because they have upgraded it. So they have switched out. I'm not sure of the exact name brand on this, but it's a billet aluminum steering rack underneath here. It is in great shape here. The boots on this thing are in great shape. There's no splits, cracks, or tears anywhere there. All your mounting hardware is in great shape. Tie rods, tie rod ends, those are all in great shape too, all of which have those little rubber dust boot covers to keep dirt and debris out, keep all that grease in, and keep them lasting for a long time. So that's your steering. As far as the brakes go, again, manual brakes on the car. However, they are disc up front. It's a 4-piston caliper on the front, along with a slotted rotor. So that's going to help keep the rotors cooler and provide you with better braking on the front end of the car. And then, of course, we'll talk about the wheels and tires one more time. I know we were already over them with our walk around, but again, these are those 16-inch American Racing Torq thrust wheels, the gray painted centers there with the polished lips. And again, as far as the tires go, these are a Hercules name brand on all 4 corners, a Touring 4.0 tire, all 4, so your tread pattern is going to be all identical. And as a plus on this car, tire size is identical front to rear. So we've got 205 60 R16s on this car on all 4 corners. So just makes it a lot easier for you whenever it comes time to rotate tires. You can just simply flip-flop them front to rear, no problems. As we come to the center now, we're going to speak of our drive line here a little bit. So we do in fact have that 302 cubic inch small block Ford motor here, that fuel injected motor. Looking at our oil pan here and our gasket, our seals, those are all in good shape, no leaks or drips. No leaks or drips here at our drain plug. And again, no leaks or drips here at the back of our pan either. That is nice and dry. Transmission. This is a Tremec 5-speed manual transmission. It does in fact have the cover on the front. That's going to help protect that flywheel from anything getting into it. All of your lines, all of your electrical connections, all of which are in good condition here on this transmission. We've got the transmission cross member here too, which is in great shape. The actual mount for the tail shaft is in good condition too. And again, our output shaft seal, all good, all complete all the way around, and no leaks or drips there. So again, that's all good. Before we get too far here, exhaust. As I mentioned from up above, we've got those block hugger headers there on the car for the exhaust. Those come down into a complete 2¼ inch exhaust, running into dual turbo style mufflers, and then of course the tailpipes over top the rear end with a 2½ inch, I believe, exhaust tip, but we'll see those a little bit better once we get all the way back there. The front frame section, all in good shape, good and square, nice and straight. The floors on this car, as I've gone back through this and looked, the floors look really, really nice on this car. As you can tell here, good and solid, everything here underneath. All of your stamping marks and everything are right there in the floor, so it is all the correct metal. All of your drain plugs are installed, all the rubber plugs are installed in the underside here. Your pinch wells are good and straight on both sides. Rockers are good and solid down both sides also from underneath here. Now this car, as I mentioned with the brakes, it is going to also have the emergency brake all hooked up here. So all of your cables, all of your hookups here, everything all the way back to those rear drum brakes is all hooked up and functional there. So yeah, that's the floors, that's the frame, that's rockers, that's pinch wells. As you can see also, all of your lines, like your fuel lines and such, brake lines, everything like that, all done here in that black stainless braided hose. Again, all the way back through, run nice and neat along the car here. Again, this is an electronic fuel injected motor. So this is going to go all the way back to your fuel tank. It all has AN fittings on it too, so those are going to be good and secure. It's also got this Aeromotive inline fuel filter there too, to keep things all good and clean going from the tank up to that motor. As far as the rear section of the car here, rear frame rails, these dog leg sections that go up over top of the rear end, those are good and square. Your rear suspension is by way of multi-leaf rear suspension with a set of KYB gas adjust shocks here. As I mentioned, the drum brakes here with the emergency brake plumbed and functional. 16-inch wheels back here with those 205/60/16 tires here, those Hercules Touring 4.0s, and again, those are those American Racing Torq thrust wheels. Drive shaft is balanced, so that's going to eliminate driveline vibrations. The front, the yoke here at your rear end here, I should say, at the pinion, that is good and dry. This is an 8-inch Ford housing. It is a 410 gear POSI unit in there, so that's going to get you up and going there pretty quick. As I mentioned there, the tailpipes up over top of the rear end with the 2.5-inch exhaust tips. As we move in here to the fuel tank, as you can see here, nicely detailed up fuel tank, no dents or dings anywhere at all in here, no leaks or drips. Like I said, those fuel lines all have those AN fittings on them. All wired nice and neatly, no leaks here, looks good. And as we know with these Mustangs, that fuel tank makes up a large majority of the trunk floor itself. So from what we can see of the trunk floor here, everything all looks good. But again, we've seen it already from the top side of the car. With that, I mean, we've got the little bumperettes here at the back here on our lower rear valance going up to our chrome rear bumper there. Again, all of which is in great shape. So that's pretty much it for the underside of our 66 Mustang here. What I've been doing as of late is I've been just trying to let you folks know out there that we are in fact an ATC trailer dealer. We have multiple models right here in stock, ready for you to purchase and use to put one of these nice classic cars inside and transport around. Again, if you have any questions on our trailers, I recommend you can either go right directly through our car site. You just click on the drop down menu for our inventory and pick trailers, or you can go to hankstershaulers.com. That's the site where we list all our trailers. You can go there, check out all the photos of all the product that we do have here in stock. And again, any questions whatsoever, please reach out to us there and we'll be glad to help you out. Again, if you're one of our car customers, we can definitely help you out and work with you there on the trailers. Just give us a chance there and hit us up with any of your trailer needs. With that stated, we're going to go ahead now, lower this down, go underneath the hood, fire that motor up, let you hear what that motor all sounds like.